Anthony Kinsey. I'm the band leader with Schwing, and founded Schwing around about 15 years ago, and I'm in charge of recruiting and choosing the musicians who play in the band, and the organisation of each of our gigs, putting together the sets and the logistics, and then I go on stage and try to sing and play keyboard and be the face of the band on stage as well. Schwing can and do and have performed at pretty much every kind of event I can imagine. We're a great band for corporate events. I'm currently just about to go on stage at a corporate event with our 8-piece lineup just now. We also play at a lot of weddings, a lot of different kinds of weddings, from huge outdoor events with 500 or 600 people to more intimate occasions for smaller gatherings. And any celebration that you can imagine having some music and entertainment for, we've probably done it, and if we haven't, then we're more than willing to. Our lineup options, what we try to be with Schwing, is as versatile as possible in order to meet the requirements of different venues, different stage sizes, different budgets, and different styles of music also as well affects the lineup. We can operate as small as a solo or duo, using some backing tracks, or just piano vocal. That will always be myself, and then maybe add a saxophone to that. Moving on from that, a trio, which is a classic kind of jazz trio, classic lineup of piano, bass and drums. Even though that's a classic jazz trio, still can be quite versatile with the material, even with that lineup, and do a little bit of pop and soul material as well. But that lineup does lend itself really to some great jazz and swing material. And we can build on that almost without limit, really. But what we do from there is we do a 4-piece, a 6-piece, an 8-piece, a 10-piece and a 12-piece. And the way that works is the 4-piece will add a saxophone to the trio that I mentioned, which just gives that extra bit of interest to the sound and the look of the band as well. So you've got from there a 6-piece, which is the first point at which we can give you a horn section, which is a real boost to any band, I think. I love a band with a horn section. And that means that we have a trumpet, a trombone and a saxophone with the trio that we mentioned before. And that really does lift what we can do because of the way we arrange the music. We can make that sound almost like a big band, like Frank Sinatra's band or like Aretha Franklin's band, which is great. And then we build from there. Those lineups so far all involve male vocal singing, which is almost always myself, playing piano and doing the lead vocal.
You did 9-piece.
From there we have a slight kind of embellishment to that, also led by myself on male vocal, which is our 9-piece, and that just adds to the horn section. And we also add a guitar. That means we have 5 horns, and then added to the trio we have guitar. That makes a completely different kind of sound to the 6-piece. We still can perform all the same material. It's just much more big band sounding, and it gives the freedom for your lead vocalist, which again is usually me, to be a little bit away from the piano as well, come out front on stage, and it's a much more of a show band, I would say. It's a very impressive lineup, the 9-piece. So then we can offer 3 different lineups, which are almost completely different to that, although we can do the same material as that. What we add is our female-fronted option and our female-fronted material, which then means the band can become even more versatile. So our 8-piece is keyboards, bass, drums and guitar, our 3 horns that we had in the 6-piece, and then our fantastic female vocalist. And the female vocalist can perform contemporary pop music, classic soul, and mainstream pop music from the last 40 or 50 years. And if the event requires it, we can still perform all the swing, or the jive, or the Latin, all that kind of music as well, either in the same sets or in different sets at different times in your event. You will, I'm presuming, have seen some demo material, which we have obviously presented online or in whatever other form you've seen it. The people in that demo material are full-time members of the band Schwing. However, what I can tell you about being a full-time member of the band Schwing is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be on every performance. We can't all go on holiday at the same time each year, and we all have different commitments away from this band, which makes us the musicians that we are. You get better players by having guys that play with other people sometimes, and that's what Schwing is made up of. Each and every chair, as we call it in the band, will have its first choice member, and it will have its second choice member who's played the gig probably as many times and just as well. And the same goes for our vocalist, which of course is a slightly more sensitive issue, I'm sure, for somebody who's booking the band, to know that they're getting the singer that they've heard or seen in the demo. We use so many different great professionals from across the UK that we can't have a demo of each and every one of them. But I can assure you that what we put in our demo is the quality and the style and the presentation and the look of the people that we use. That's the standard that we always stick to. That's what you get when you book Schwing. So if it's not the lady that you've seen in the video, then it's somebody just as good, if not better. So if Schwing are performing for your event and what you're after is for people to be dancing, the first thing I should tell you is that that is the brief for 99% of the things that we do. We are very, very occasionally asked to do a cabaret event, and we're always successful at that, but most of the time people want us to be playing for dancing after dinner at a corporate event, playing for dancing at the climax of a private event, and that is where we specialise. We design our repertoire, we design our set lists, we behave in the manner appropriate to get people on the dance floor. What we have with Schwing is a huge repertoire of music from so many, many different genres, so many, many different styles, and we are more than happy to add to that at any time. In fact, we're always adding to that ourselves. What I would say is that we're very, very good at putting a set list together which we know works. So when we take requests, what we prefer to do, if possible, is to take a small number of requests that are really important to the client, and then within reason, usually the answer is almost always yes to that particular song. But what we can get from that is an idea about what you like, and then embellish the rest of the set with material that suits those small numbers of requests, which also means that you don't then have to feel that you have to prescribe every piece of music that your band are going to play. You're booking a professional band. They should know exactly from your brief, from your couple of requests, what it is you want them to play, and then we go out there and do the business for you. The guests' reaction to Schwing is almost always very, very good, very, very surprised. Sometimes they're a little surprised from their preconception of seeing the band set up, or what perhaps they thought we were, to then what they hear when we actually start. Because maybe we are a swing band, quite a sophisticated band. Even when we go into the pop and soul element, we do try and present ourselves as quite a sophisticated band. So perhaps people don't expect it to be as in your face as it eventually is. But what happens is, right from the very start, we are trying to get the dance floor full, to get people moving, to get the atmosphere going. And the response is generally a full dance floor. Schwing are not a jazz band. I am not a jazz musician, and I'm the band leader of Schwing. Many of the musicians in the band are jazz musicians, more for fun, but professionally, what we are a band designed to play at parties and events. When I founded the band, I wanted to specialise in swing music because it's something that I had a strong background in, and it's also something that was really, really popular at the time the band was founded. But both myself and all the members of the band love pop music. We love music that non-jazz fans like, and we play that kind of music. We play music that you've heard, that you know, that you recognise in a style that you know and you recognise from the radio, from the TV. Okay, how do we ensure that guests stay on the dance floor once they're there? I don't know how we do that, but it just does tend to happen. At any party, you can occasionally have a brief lull, and I'd like to think that one of our skills is knowing the way things are going and having a look around at what's working. Usually, the set is designed to work in any case. It's designed to bring you in at the start and to keep you with us. But we're also pretty flexible, even within a written set list, which we always have a written set list, almost always. And we respond to what's working and we carry on going with it. And if we try something that doesn't quite work, it's pretty easy to get off that vibe and go back to the one that was working or try something else. We're pretty astute when it comes to reading the audience. It amazes me that people have the fear that a professional band would let them down on the day of their event, or maybe even a week before their event. In my opinion, it's a professional service that you're booking us for. It's what we do for a living. It's not just our Saturday night hobby. If we're booked to play at your event, we realise how important that is to you. It's equally important to us because it's how we live. So a contract with us is 100% guaranteed. There are, of course, events that I'm sure you worry about. You know, what if the singer is sick or something like that? But we do have contingency in place for those very, very rare occasions. In fact, that's never actually ever happened to us. But you can rest assured that we do have a contingency plan for those very, very rare occasions, and what you've booked will definitely be there.